Hi, this is Jeffrey Kurt, Kurt Financial Group. Today is Wednesday, March 25, 2026. The pattern of the financial markets being whipped around by headlines and developments and oil prices and all the different things going on in the Middle East continues. And I think it's so difficult to try to think about whatever method you use to try to make investment decisions, whether it's fundamental analysis, whether it's technical analysis and chart reading, and whether it's algorithms, none of that's really working right now. Things have been so volatile, up and down, and based primarily on the price of oil, which again is dependent upon whatever the headline is. And the headlines, I think, are just difficult to analyze too. How do you know if you're speaking to the right people in Iran, whether we're negotiating with the right people? And all that is hard to determine. And then you see the headlines from the various news outlets, which all, I think, both right and left, have significant bias. And they want to present a narrative and a propaganda type message that's hard to interpret that, let alone really understand what may be going on behind the scenes and what's really going on in terms of maybe a settlement. But clearly, I think that the oil prices were down more than they are now as I'm doing this late morning, and stocks were up here on Wednesday. And I think, again, the relationship of that hopefully goes away, and we can kind of return to some sort of more logical or better understood kind of metrics as what's influencing the markets. I do think one thing that's important to kind of think about is that inflation may stay higher for longer. Oil prices are clearly a function and a determinant of inflation, but also things like fertilizer prices are going up, and fertilizers used in all the ag and other items are going up in terms of fertilizer and then nat gas prices going into different processes and different materials. So that may force and keep inflation higher for longer than we'd like. And again, then that becomes a totally different environment and landscape that we've been used to with a lower inflation last year. And it may bring about different leadership, different sectors of the financial markets doing better than other sectors, and significant headwinds to other sectors. So it'd be interesting, again, to get past this whole, correlation between oil prices and Middle East headlines and the financial markets. And I think we will do that at some point. But, it may be some more time and some more volatility in the meantime. So we'll leave it there for now. We'll be back on Friday. Please like, subscribe, let us know any questions or comments. Appreciate the input. Thank you again. Goodbye.